Alright, Budget Magic time. Up against Pascal Maynard, MTG Pro, known for picking the Tarmogoyf at the Modern Masters 2015 GP in Vegas. This is a keeper. We don't have any of our tricky cards, but we have a pretty aggressive start. Guess it will depend on what our opponent is on. Bloodstained Mire. Sure. Steam Vents. So this is probably Twin. We don't have any Dismembers, which is bad. Well, I guess we just go with Experiment 1. Ship the turn. Unless we draw a Dismember or something, we're pretty much locked into just trying to kill our opponent as fast as possible before they combo off. If they can combo off, then we are obviously dead. Looks like they're taking some damage from their lands, though, which is helpful. I guess it's possible this is Grixis control as well, but most likely some sort of twin. Another Serum Visions. Now we're going to have an interesting choice. Do we go Experiment 1 plus Dryad Militant and attack for 2, or just go Strangleroot Geist, attack for 4? Oh, well, if there's not an Anger of the Gods in the main deck, I think that the 1-drop play is better. We don't get in as much damage right away, but we set up for a really big turn next turn, and getting our Experiment 1s to regeneration, power and toughness, because you can remove 2 counters, regenerate Experiment 1. So if we play a Leatherback Baloth next turn, then we're set up for protecting ourselves against a Pyroclasm or something. So this is a very good, very aggressive start. The trouble is, if they can just go Pestermite into Splinter Twin, we still lose, even with this very solid draw. So we would love for them to play just about anything. Well, not Pyroclasm or Anger of the Gods, but anything that's not those 2 cards, because that would mean they aren't comboing off this turn. Could even deal with a Gurmag Angler, a Tassiger, if that is what's happening. That would be fine. Well, based on the land fetching, we don't have to worry about Anger. And they're going to tap out for something main phase. Oh, interesting. This is Grixis Storm? Now I do not know what's happening. I am so confused. Our opponent Desperate Ritualed, splicing through the breach to put Grishoalbrand into play. Drew 14 cards, down to 1 life, and they can attack again to go up to 8 and draw more cards. And then I guess they're hoping to Nourishing Shoal, exiling Worldspine Worm or something to gain a bunch of life and get out of danger. Because they're at 3 mana and tapped out, yeah, so they gain a bunch of life, exiling Worldspine Worm up to 12. It's hard to imagine them winning from this position. I'm not sure. I guess it involves them getting enough Simian Spirit Guides so that they can Desperate Ritual into casting the Through the Breach for an Emrakul. But that's at least a Desperate Ritual. And I don't think they play a full set of Desperate Rituals. And multiple Spirit Guides. Gains more life. Alright, they're drawing their entire deck. Do they hit the requisite number? This deck should not exist in Modern. That is very true. Well, we're not just dead, but we are very likely dead next turn, and our clock isn't going to be fast enough to kill our opponent. So our opponent drew 7, 14, 21, 28 cards, I believe. And is at 16 life. This seems like a really bad matchup. Just gotta kind of hope that our opponent doesn't run well. But, I mean, we're a mono green deck. A mono green doesn't really match up well with turn 2 Grishoalbrand. And there's Spirit Guide 1 exiled to add a mana. Pretty much the Lotus Petal, I guess, of Modern. As close as it gets. Lightning Axe. Pitching Borgamos to kill an Experiment 1. Sacrifices Grishoalbrand. Discards a million cards. So I don't think there's a card in our deck that lets us win this game, because our opponent is going to Goryo's Vengeance next turn, and then we die. Discards 4 Jaces. Yeah, they're discarding Goryo's Vengeance, so we are most certainly dead. I don't even know what our out could possibly be. Well, that was fun. I don't know why they haven't banned this deck yet, in all honesty. And that does it. I mean, there's no sense in even playing it out. So we have nothing that matters. Well, I guess we have relics, which are something. Dismember doesn't... So we'll just bring in relics over Dismember and hope that that's good enough. So... I mean, I guess we try it. We only have 1 land, but we have a ton of 1-drops. It's fairly aggressive. If our opponent can just turn to us, there's not anything we can do about it, which is disappointing. Blood Crypt, untapped, and Dark Blast. Excellent. Well, I guess we lead on Dryad Militant. Don't have a land. At least Dryad Militant takes care of the Dark Blast. Dark Blast hits a Grishoalbrand, which is probably exactly what they wanted. Alright, so Dark Blast is down at least. And our opponent kept a 1-lander as well. But we are not drawing a second land. Faithless Looting. Man, just randomly hitting the Grishoalbrand. It's pretty sweet. Borgamos, another Grishoalbrand. Serum Visions. I feel our odds diminishing by the second. At least our opponent bottom both. So if they don't have it in their hand, maybe they don't have it. Well, I guess we can Dryad Militant. Puts counter on Experiment 1. Get in for 2. Pass the turn. Dryad Militant. If an instant or sorcery is put in the graveyard from anywhere, it gets exiled. That's how we get rid of the Dark Blast, which gives the creature -1 for 1 black, and you can dredge it back for 3. Dark Blast is a really good card. It depends on the format a lot and what you're trying to kill, but it's very powerful. Anger, sure. Well, are we going to draw land? Treetop Village. Not the land we wanted. So our opponent had a clunky draw, but we are unable to punish them for it. Jace. Oh, God. Colonian Tusker. Unfortunately, our opponent can flip the Jace. Flash something back. Discards a Jace. Oh, then they drew into the Goryo's Vengeance. Get the Grishoalbrand. Draw. Plays land. Oh boy. Exile Spirit Guide, where they have another Goryo's Vengeance. No doubt. Alright, we're dead. Yeah, that's not a good matchup.